everyone for coming this evening. It's really good to see everyone. The format is I'm going to do a book reading, but keep it relatively short, so between about 5 to 8 minutes. I'm then going to take Q&A, and you were given like a card. So if you want to ask a question, if you could fill in the card, and Hannah, who's got her hands raised here, will collect them. So you'll see her walking around. And then after the Q&A, they'll last about 20 minutes. And then I'm going to tell you or share with you about a little jaunt that I'm going to do starting on January the 1st. Yes. I have to say that I was waking up at like 3 in the morning thinking, you're mad, mate. And then I told a good friend of mine who I was in the police, and I told him about this terrible story, and he said, you're right, you are mad. But there are people from all areas of my life here, people I was at boarding school with, so, God, that was 60 years ago. No, 55 years ago, boarding school. Yeah. Quite a few people I was in the Met Police with. I was very lucky to join in the early 80s and had an amazing group of people that I worked with, so it's great to see them. And actually the person who helped me, I arrested someone for murder. I was off duty and they were running along with a carving knife covered in blood. And being a keen, enthusiastic officer that I was, I gave chase and then arrested them, and actually the person who turned up in the fast response car is here as well. But interestingly enough, he has no memory of the event at all. So obviously it had a lasting impression on me, but no one else. And then also, another sort of person who made a huge impact on my life, but also has no memory of the event, is the professor who, on my master's degree, I'd done a postgraduate diploma, this was my early 30s, and then I did a master's degree. And on about the 4th day, I realized it was like, 10 steps above my pay grade. I mean, there was just no way I was going to be able to do it. And so I went to see the deputy head, and he looked me in the eyes and he said, Jonathan, I interviewed you for this. I have no doubt you can do it. And he just held my gaze for about 5-10 seconds. And a light bulb just went on in my head, and I thought, right, I'll do it. And I worked 10 to 12 hours a day, took one day off every 2 weeks, and 12 months later, nearly got a distinction. But I wouldn't have stayed if it wasn't for his help. And then there are a lot of people here that I've sort of done work with subsequently, and it's really nice to see you all as well. So I'm going to do a reading, but I'm going to keep it quite short, much to the relief of everyone. I tried doing the reading, so I've done an audio book, and I tried doing the reading, and I thought, well, this will be easy peasy. So I went down to the recording studio. By the end of the first day, I'd lost the will to live. And about half a day into the second day, I realized this isn't going to happen. So I've discovered that me and reading out aloud aren't necessarily good bedfellows. And actually there's some people who've just arrived who have also been like an important part of my life for the last 2 years, because it was in their cafe where I wrote my book. So this section was actually, or this moment in my life was really important, and it sort of explains why I wrote this book and why I was prepared to put my knowledge and experience about mental health into the public domain. I haven't shared everything, but where I can, I've been as honest as I can. And so that the real changing moment for me was, and I've titled the section, The Power of Defining Wealth and Success. Something deeply embedded in my psyche was the idea that success equals making money and wealth equals the accumulation of money. However, I knew money was not enough. If I measured my life by these criteria, I fell well short of where I thought I should be, and still do, I hasten to add. I've also learned from experience that I will always change my goals, and no matter how much money I make, it will never be enough. Besides making money, I often define success as achieving some incredible feat, ideally globally. This thinking had led to ambitious plans and hypermania, but they fell apart when the stress became overwhelming and I inevitably crashed. I'd seen my traditional interpretation of wealth and success as an integral solution to achieving positive mental health, and whether or not I liked it, it still did on a subconscious level. It had never occurred to me to redefine their meanings. Around this time, a critical turning point came when I realized and accepted that I did not have to justify my achievements to anyone else. Even better, I could decide for myself what wealth and success meant to me now, and if it differed from how others viewed their world, this was fine and not a problem. This awakening during my early 60s, well, I'm actually only 52 at the moment, felt like another internal shift when I became aware I no longer needed to prove my intelligence to anyone, including myself. Ever since I attended primary school, I'd had a specific and constant belief that compared with others, I was stupid. I was not to be diagnosed with dyslexia for another 30 years after my initial schooling. To be honest, I'm not sure if people even talked about dyslexia back then, much less truly understood what it was. So now I decided my wealth was not monetary, but the knowledge gained from 50 plus years of lived experience with mental health, particularly bipolar disorder, depression, and addiction. This wealth also included a similar experience with dyslexia and the challenges I have experienced when learning, reading, and writing, and how this has impacted my performance at school and work, as well as my confidence and self-belief. This combined wealth of knowledge is even more valuable because I spent around 40 years searching for and finding solutions, which I continually evaluated and refined, the key one being smart wisdom. I believe this exploration will continue to be a lifelong pursuit. Next, my success naturally flows from this form of wealth. It's all about my willingness and the actions I take to share my experience and knowledge for the benefit of others. The beauty of these two definitions means that I now have a well-defined purpose and set of goals moving forwards, all of which give my personal life meaning each day and each moment. I no longer need to worry about what others think. I still do, I am human after all, but it's less intrusive these days. When I realize I'm worrying again, I reflect on my new definitions of wealth and success. This makes it much easier to stop comparing myself to others and my own impossibly high standards. The pieces of the jigsaw puzzle finally fell into place, and I could now concentrate on what I love doing, what brings me purpose, and where I can positively impact the world around me. Thank you.